This program, I want to introduce my son here, Blake Mandell. He is a graduate of Brown University and studying in the field that we're going to talk about. Quite exciting. My name is Dr. Mandell. We are actually live streaming worldwide right now. I want to say good evening to those people here in the U.S. Good morning to those people overseas. This will be put on my channel. As you come to the channel, you will see it here. This is a great, interesting program. We want to say hello to everyone in the chat room. We appreciate you being here with us. The program tonight is how to change your relationship to chronic pain. There are thousands of people that we communicate with on a regular basis on our channel, as well as people worldwide who are having pain. Herniated discs, bulging discs, anxiety, affecting your life in many ways, have been through all kinds of medications and doctors, and this is a program hopefully we're going to really help you. Blake, I want to say hello and welcome.
Hello, it's great to be here.
Blake, a little bit about chronic pain. I wanted you to take off a little bit about pain, what you like to say briefly about it, and then we're going to go into a little bit about the stress response, teaching the audience a little bit about the sympathetic, parasympathetic, what pain can do, how we can block pain, some things that we can do that people need to understand what pain is all about. This is a big asset for those people that we can get people off medication who are just constantly fulfilling their body and bombarding their body and potentially causing a lot of ill effects, particularly in the liver and the kidneys.
So the easiest definition of pain is you know it when you feel it. It's quite unpleasant most of the time. It's really hard to give a strict definition because not even the best neuroscientists today can really define it. We don't really know what pain means in the body, what pain means in the brain, what it means in the spine, what it means in the mind. That hasn't been connected yet. So far it's you know it when you feel it and you want to try to make it go away as best you can and not harm yourself in doing so.
I want to take a few steps, Blake, just to give the audience a little bit of understanding about the basic pain cycle, that when we're in a pain, it causes a stress. Cortisol is being released, and obviously when cortisol is released, it affects many different systems in the body. It affects the immune system, causing sickness, obviously. It affects the glucose metabolism, as well as the neurochemistry of the serotonin and dopamine in the brain. That affects our sleepiness, it affects our moods, it affects depression and anxiety, which you're going to talk about on anxiety, but also increasing blood pressure, pulse rate, increasing actually arterial plaquing, and obviously a higher incidence of stroke and heart attacks. There are stressors, and our objective here is that we want to help you in many ways by giving you some good insight, up-to-date insight, that Blake will give you some great insight, stuff that he has been in labs and studying through Brown University. He's a recent graduate and one of the top in his class. I'm proud to say that, Blake, but the audience out there has to know that because they're going to hear some really up-to-date information about some things that you've done quite exciting. We look at pain, we're looking that it does affect many things, as we see stress, anxiety, poor sleep, fatigue. It affects us in many different ways. It affects our moods. It just does horrible things to our body. This is a very important chart, and I would like our audience to go back to this chart, and they can actually see this chart later. This will give them an understanding what it can do in the short-term response as well as a long-term response. Obviously, the stress trickles and trickles. It's okay if you have stress, a car's coming at you, or you're running from a lion in the woods, or you had a bad fight and then you calm down and you're okay. But if the stress continues, this causes serious effects in the immune system, again, increased cortisol, and this really affects many of the different physiological factors.
Alan, so what's very interesting about this is, as humans, we're animals, and whether we want to accept that or not, it's true. So we're really good at dealing with short-term stress. If a car is coming at us, we get really strong, really fast, and we can jump out of the way. But we're really bad at dealing with long-term stress. So that's very interesting you brought that up.
Yeah. If we look at the sympathetic, parasympathetic response, we're going to be deferring to this. This is a great chart, and this is probably one of the most hardest things for physicians to really understand. This really explains it very simple. When we're stressed, you can see how it affects us. It inhibits digestion. It stimulates the release of glucose by the liver. It stimulates epinephrine, norepinephrine, which is the fight or flight stimulation. It affects the bladder, contracts the rectum. It actually affects us sexually in other ways. But when you relax, you can see how the bronchioles change, how you have better digestion, how you have better contraction of the gallbladder, how the rectum releases. And it's a perpetuating thing that it causes a lot of favorable things in the body. And our purpose here is to give you an understanding that we want to calm this system down. While calming the system down will calm pain. When we have this anxiety has a direct relationship with pain. And that's what we're going to talk about. We look at this particular thing. Blake, I want you to mention a few things about this. This looks familiar.
Yeah, so what we see here is there's definitely pain in your back. It's probably unpleasant. You've probably felt this before. I have. And many viewers on here have also know this too. So when you have pain, usually if you pay close attention to it, there's thoughts and feelings that are with the pain too. There's, oh no, this is pain. I want this to stop. That's a thought. There's emotions like negativity. There's associated bodily sensations like you can actually feel chest tightness oftentimes with the pain. And much of the work that's been done with pain is purely physiological. So there are a lot of medications out there like benzodiazepines and things like that can help bring you down physiologically. But psychologically has largely been neglected in the study of pain and how to treat it. Recent research has been quite outstanding to show that if you just feel that there's pain and notice the various thoughts, the emotions, the bodily sensations that occur right after and in conjunction with pain, and these things actually lead to more pain. So the obvious thought would be, okay, let's try to reduce them. But in a way, you can't force your thoughts to be a certain way. You can't force yourself to feel a certain way. But what you can do is start to decondition yourself from having those thoughts by just noticing them and accepting them. It sounds contradictory, but in a way, accepting and embracing the feelings you have, the thoughts, the sensations can over time bring you less pain in the future, and in the moment make your pain be less distressing and maybe even go away faster.
A very important thing is that we become conditioned. Conditioned mean that when we have pain, we expect pain. We are looking for the pain. And then when this hits us, it becomes a whole vicious cycle. As we look at the vicious cycle, we look at this thought emotion type of thing that pain causes anxiety. Mm-hmm. It causes an emotional thing and it causes a physical thing. We know that when muscles contract, we know that it's going to cause more pain, and it becomes a whole vicious cycle. So the issue here is that when you have a conditioned response, the issue here is to not only address the relationship of how we interpret the pain as you're talking about, but we have to retrain our subconscious.
Entirely.
Our subconscious is trained. It's like an alcoholic. It's like someone who smokes. It's like someone who does drugs. This is an addiction. And we become addicted to the pain. We're looking for the pain. We're waiting for the pain. I know going through school, I had this phobic that when I would go into a big area, every day I would get dizzy. I would get this anxiety response because it's something I was looking forward to. We have to retrain the subconscious. And when you have this pain, instead of dwelling into the pain, you're going to have to tell yourself, like, it's just in the process of going away. Or you have to use positive thinking. Mm-hmm. You still have to use positive affirmations. We can't get swung up or held up into this type of cycle, or we're not going to break the cycle. Because the medication is not going to allow the brain to heal. It's going to allow the brain to react. And that's obviously a very important thing.
So another thing here that's very interesting is you see the arrows are bidirectional. So not only does pain cause muscle tension and anxiety, but anxiety and muscle tension also cause pain. So Dr. Mandell here is going to speak about muscle tension and how to remove muscle tension, which could remove pain. And then I'm going to speak about how to deal with anxiety caused by pain, how to try to reduce that to also try to remove pain.
Well, a few things I want to go into first, just some brief things. Deep breathing. We just recently did a video last night, an excellent video. I invite people to go on to my channel I will incorporate that video into this particular video on the bottom here. You can look at that. We talked about some breathing exercises. But the first thing I want to just mention, deep breathing is so important, and don't get so held up into what you're thinking about. Just, let things go as things come into your mind, but try to just stay focused on just the breath. Some people, the relaxation response, Herbert Benson will just talk about 2 or 1. Just say 1. Every time you breathe, 1. And just kind of focus on something so you don't have things that distract you. The other thing is, when you elicit this relaxation response, the whole purpose of this is to just have your mind stay refreshed all the time. If you get off track and you want to say to yourself, refresh. Refresh is kind of like refresh on your computer. Just start over. Just don't even think about things so much, because the more we think about and dwell on these other things that affect us, we're going to get off track. But the whole purpose of this is slowing down the sympathetic nervous system to kick in the parasympathetic system, and doing this over 21 days, which we can retrain that subconscious mind. Meditation with guided imagery, paying attention to, just focusing in with music, being in a restful environment. And again, if you get off track, refresh, get back on focus. Do things that you enjoy doing. Make it a habit of, maybe reading poetry, walking in nature, gardening, cooking, being with someone you enjoy to be with, doing things different and trying to immerse yourself every day into doing these things. This will diminish pain. Tai Chi, yoga, excellent. Positive thinking. As we say, you're in a process of things that are happening great. Now, the most important thing that I have learned about helping pain is try to focus your mind on the things you're grateful for, giving gratitude for. And try to focus your mind more on the positive than dwelling things on the negative. And if you just work on that little by little, that means being around with positive people, not with negative people. That means getting rid of hatred, getting rid of jealousy, getting rid of your negative thoughts, and trying to really focus on the good stuff, the loving stuff, the family stuff, your children, your loved ones, people that love you and care about you. You need to really focus on that, and you'll see the pain will continue to diminish. Blake, go ahead and talk a little bit briefly about the anxiety part.
Yeah, so the anxiety aspect is, as you become accustomed and get in the habit of feeling pain, you begin to expect the pain, and then you begin to fear that you're going to expect the pain. And anxiety is just that. It's not the pain, but it's worrying about the pain. It's being concerned with the pain. So if you can tackle it at the anxiety part, then this sort of, your mind is coupled. So when you feel the worry, the pain oftentimes accompanies that next. So it's like anxiety, then pain. But what happens if you take out the anxiety? Then many times the pain won't even come. So when you're feeling anxious, when you're feeling worried about, say, your back hurting, which I think is the most common type of chronic pain, then just to recognize that I'm feeling anxious, I'm worrying about my back hurting, and then it might hurt, and then to recognize that it hurts. And what that will do is, as you slowly start to make these slight noticing remarks about how you feel, the coupling from the anxiety to the pain will diminish over time, and the coupling from the pain back to the anxiety will also diminish over time. And research has shown that you can make a habit in 21 days. So the first day, it might not be so easy.
Or the second or the third.
But as you go on, fourth, fifth, sixth, into the second and third weeks.
It definitely gets better.
And I've seen that myself many, many times with various types of back pain I've had from a car accident. And I used to dread the pain. Oh no, it's going to come. I move too much. It's going to come. What am I going to do about it? But then I would just say to myself, okay, Blake, well, you're worrying about the pain coming. Even if it does come, is it going to hurt you? No. Okay. And then it comes. And then I used to worry, oh no, the pain's here. It's going to hurt me. But then I'll say, is it really going to hurt you? Is it worth worrying about? Correct. Shouldn't you try to find the beautiful things in your life that you're grateful for? And whenever I do that, whenever I try to focus on just seeing through the pain, seeing through all the various thoughts and feelings that accompany the pain, and just noticing it's just a feeling. It feels just like this.
It's an emotion.
Yeah. And the pain itself is just a feeling. The anxiety is just maybe a tight chest, maybe running thoughts, but they're just that. They're really nothing more.
Very, very well said. Very well said, Blake. And I hope this information really hits home with a lot of you. I realize that pain is more money is spent, the billions and billions of dollars in this world on pain than any disease known to man. And pain creeps up on us and catches up on us. And a lot of this obviously can be prevented by doing self-help, by being more aware of posture. Obviously, you know that how much I push posture on my channel. But recognizing is very important, and also not fearing it. You know that if something's not going to kill you, you can't let yourself kill yourself. That's really important, because it's like when someone has anxiety, the sweatiness, the dizziness, the difficulty breathing, difficulty catching your breath, and we've all been there. We know it's not going to kill us. And by knowing that is important. And so my most important thing I would like to bring out to all of our listeners out there is that if you are having something for the first time, get it evaluated. Go see a doctor. Get it checked out. And then once you're affirmed that it's nothing serious and it's not going to kill you, I think that will really make a big difference in your life. Knowing that it's not going to hurt you, you don't want to hurt yourself, you want to learn from your mistakes and continue to take that route of healing. I thank all of our audiences out there who have tuned in with us worldwide. I really hope that you will share this video. I ask you out there to subscribe to our channel. I think it is something that this can really help a lot of people. Get people off the big pharma, off those heavy, toxic medications and drugs. You've been on them. I've been on them. We've all been on them somewhere along our life. Preserve our health, keep a positive attitude, and just keep loving. And keep doing the right things for our body, because we have to make those dividends, because those right deposits, we can't afford those withdrawals all the time. We got to make the right deposits, do the right things. And I really think that, I learned a lot from my son. He's a very bright boy. And when I go to visit him and I see the labs he was in and the PhD people he's around and the big people well-known worldwide, this man right here, a good boy, wants to learn, wants to share, wants to love. We'll have him back here again. Give me your feedback. Leave it below. Let me know what you think about this video, what you like. If you want us back talking about something else, we'll come back. We love you very much. We want to see you be well. Blake, anything you'd like to say?
And if there's something you think we could improve on, please let us know. We'll be making new videos almost every day. Well, maybe without me here, but he will.
Anyways, God bless. Thank you again for being here with us, and make it a great day. All right? We'll catch up with you real soon. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.